And
All
Sean
right.
Lennon here with Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast. Make sure to check us out on social media. PW Enforcer on Twitter, at Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast on Instagram. And right now we're welcoming Illinois women's pro wrestler Selene Gray to Pro Wrestling Enforcer tonight, and she's going to be in action. Check her out July 24th. I.P.W is jacked in Muncie, Indiana, and UCW in Rockford, Illinois on July 31st. And she'll be taking on Shawna Reed one-on-one on the 31st, and a triple threat against Hayley Shadows and Shayla Hyde on the 24th. And you're a native of Uruguay and reside in Illinois, and of course, formerly from PCW in Midlothian. And you've competed in Total or Lucha Libre Total, Chicago. So appreciate you being on.
Of course. I'm glad to be on. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, anytime. My pleasure. The first question I had to ask you is about getting into professional wrestling. I know that it was a while ago when you were able to get into the business. Talk about that. And who did train you?
So I first started with wrestling through PCW. It's no longer around, but I was trained by Walter. He was Wally Wild at the time, and then Matt Creed, which obviously I'm still in contact with him. But I started wrestling because my little brother gave me a video game. Don't remember quite which one it was, but I couldn't make the little character move the way I wanted to move. So I decided the best thing to do was just to try it myself. So I looked up the school, I found PCW, and the rest is history. That I just started and training, and then just had my first couple of shows, and then I just fell in love.
That's awesome. Talk about, of course, being a native of Uruguay and now you're residing in Illinois.
Yep. My father's actually Uruguayan, so I kind of took that on. My mother's Paraguayan, and she's got a lot of brothers and sisters, but my dad was the only child. So Uruguay's always been my country. So when they are both in the World Cup, I always root for Uruguay. My cousins always root for Paraguay, but me and my brothers always are on Uruguay's side because we're hardcore Uruguay fans.
Definitely. I know you recently took on Holly Cromwell. So talk about that match. I know you showed the bruises, the post-fight damage, and you wore those bruises proudly.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great month actually. In June, I had a couple things going on, 4 different fights in 2 weeks. So I definitely was showing some signs of competition for sure. A lot of bruises, a lot of had a jam finger, but that's the biggest injury. I haven't really gotten too much injured. The worst I've had is just a twisted ankle. So I try to be careful. I try to have fun, obviously. But Holly is an awesome girl. I really like working with her a lot. That's the second time I worked with her. Both times were at WowT. That's a great company to work for. So if anybody is thinking of working for them, I really would recommend it. They are great people. They treat you right. But we had a good time. Still waiting for the footage to come out. Haven't seen it yet, but they do kind of a preview kind of thing, which I kind of understand. They're trying to get people to go in there, but it's still really good video quality and everything. So I really like their setup and everything. They have good fans. Same with LLT too, but Holly is a really nice girl. I really like working with her. Hopefully I can work with her again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's done a lot of wrestling, in the West Coast too. She's had a lot of matches. So, talk about obviously the promotion you talked about, WOWT. They're going to be back in July with Alberto Del Rio, Savio Vega. You're going to be a part of that show?
Unfortunately not. Actually, I was booked with I.P.W before that. They asked me to be part of their show at WowT, and I'm very sad to miss that one, but I already committed to something else, so I didn't want to back out from anything because I don't want to be that type of person, of course. So I'll hopefully be back the next month after that, August. They don't have a date yet, but I will be missing that show, unfortunately, because I will be at I.P.W, but I think it's going to be a good show too, so I'll be happy.
Yeah, in Muncie, Indiana. I mean, talk about that. You take on Shawna Reed. I mean, that should be an exciting match. The pretty little psycho, she calls herself.
Yep, definitely. That one's at Underdog Wrestling on the 31st, so that's going to be a lot of fun. She seems awesome. I've spoken to her just over messaging, and she seems very fun. She's always posting online, so she seems like she has a lot lot of fun with what she does, and that's what we're in it for. Just if you're having fun, if you
Definitely.
don't have fun anymore, why do it, you know?
For sure. And talk about, how about the beginning of your career, how you adapted maybe the Lucha Libre style in your own way and made
Sure.
it your own.
So Lucha Libre, I really, really love that. So I'm actually training right now with Yakuza in the Lucha Libre style. It's a little confusing. I went there 2 weeks ago, and just chaining was a little bit difficult because you go in the some different way. But with the moves, I feel like it's a little bit more natural to me just because I'm right-handed. So in getting into the moves are a little bit easier with Lucha Libre, and they do more rolling too instead of bumping. So it actually helps your body to not get hurt as much. So I like the style better, and I like that it's a little bit different from what I've been doing. So I'm really excited to train with Yakuza. I'm very happy that he contacted me and gave me that opportunity.
Definitely. That's really great. Now talk about, your workout regimen, how many hours you put into building your physique. That's something I'm interested in personally. So I'd like to hear from a woman's perspective about that.
Yeah, so I'm very, very lucky. I was blessed with, I guess, good metabolism. I just had a baby in 2020, so I had to get obviously back into shape. The most right now, honestly, I do is some sit-ups, but then my son comes and sits on my stomach, so I can't do that much. I can't do as much as I want to do. So I might work out, maybe do that once a week or so. If I could get a little bit more, it'd be great, but I used to work out a lot back in the day, so I don't know if maybe that from back there, my body's still holding on to that. But I mean, I want to say I work out all the time, but I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do it.
It still look the same to me. I mean,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
2014.
Thank you.
Now, what does women's pro wrestling, mean to you? I mean, I feel like, we have so much great women's wrestlers. There used to be there's a promotion out there that's, supposed to be only women's wrestling. But listen, I think that there's so much women's wrestling beyond that one single promotion can cover. So what does that mean to you when you hear women's pro wrestling?
I mean, when it was pro wrestling, it's a lot different than when I started. When I started, it was just like a one-on, you'd have two people, which is two women with one match in each show. I think it's evolved a lot lately. You have a lot more all women shows, which I just was a part of one, which was great. So I think it's more about wrestling now, which is awesome. Actually, your wrestling skill, not how it used to be, which is just all looks. They don't really look. I know back before in 2013, they didn't care if you were trained or anything, as long as you can get in the ring and do something. Now they're looking for people that are actually trained and know what they're doing, don't get hurt, aren't going to hurt other people. So it's really evolved into more of a sport than more than just kind of a show. So it's all a show, obviously, but I feel like it's more of a sport now. For
sure. Yeah, I feel the same way. And what are your thoughts on the intergender wrestling for you? You've competed against, some intergender guys, I think his name was Excalibur.
Yes.
Your recent matchup. So talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Excalibur is a great guy. He helped me out a lot. Obviously, I hope he had a good time. I think he had a good time while doing our match. But I really do like the intergender, just because there's a lot more things that you can do. Just even with girls, you can do the same things, but it's just a little different. Just having a little spice into it, it's great. Sometimes I used to tag with Matt Creed all the time. He's actually has his tag team partner now, he's a part of Youth Gone Wild, but me and Matt Creed used to tag a bunch back in 2013, 2014, and that was always fun. So he used to be, it wasn't all the time, but he would be my intergender tag team partner, I guess you can say.
Sounds good.
But I mean, if I get thrown in there with anybody, I don't mind. It's always fun. It's all good fun to me.
Yeah, so you could go in there with Lance Archer, the Myrtle Hawk monster, right?
There you go. I don't mind, as long as we're having a good time.
For sure. Oh, he loves to have a good time. Now, what do you feel is necessary to keep the matches from being redundant? Like, what do you like to change up?
So, like you were kind of mentioning the whole Lucha Libre thing, I don't think many people are doing that. So that's why I'm trying to get my skill level up a little bit more with
Mhm.
that, because I don't think that's utilized as much as it should be. So I think just changing up a little some things, like even little roles, things like that. Not doing the same thing, obviously, that you keep doing over and over again. Yeah, there are some things that get over, but even if they get over, just not to do it every single match. I mean, I
Right.
think it's very important to do something, even if it's a little different. If you're doing something off the top rope, don't do the same thing off the top rope. So just try, I don't know, in my matches, sometimes I don't do things perfectly, but I like to try everything, lots of new things.
What was your toughest opponent so far? Maybe someone that was, really experienced, so you had to keep up with them. And
I mean, I can't really say I had a toughest opponent. I mean, I've only had, well, a handful when I'm back, so I don't have the best memories. So in 2013, everybody was great. I haven't had issue or toughest really. Everybody's been very helpful. I
okay,
don't think that I could say they've been the toughest, just because everybody I feel like is helpful. And when I can't do something, or if I need help with something, everybody's willing to help. If someone else needs help, and I'm willing to help them too.
and the Shades a great finisher. Coming up with that, how difficult is it to pull off?
I mean, it's fairly easy, to be honest.
Okay.
It's easier than my other finisher, which is I call it the Sister Cersei, which is kind of a helicopter DDT. I have to hold
Mhm.
myself a little bit longer and kind of turn myself, but using the ropes, it's a lot easier to do the actual my shade of gray, just because I can use my own momentum to push myself off. So I was actually had a lot of help creating it though. I had that created, or I was assisted to have it created at PCW. So a lot of the guys helped me out with that one. They kind of wanted to do a Trish Stratus kind of thing, but I don't like doing the exact same
Oh
things.
yeah,
So we kind of switched it up a little bit to make it a DDT instead of the Bulldog.
definitely, it makes
Hmm.
sense. Now, who would you want to wrestle that's currently performing today, male or female? Like, who do you feel like you would make a great match with?
um, right now, I mean, I actually already wrestled her, and it's Hayley Shadows. I really like working with her.
Okay.
There's one girl that I really want to work with. I've talked to her a couple of times. Her name is Lilith Grimm. She seems like one of the sweetest girls. So I really want to work either tag team with her, against her, singles competitor. I would love to have some kind of match with her. So that would be exciting.
Excellent. Hopefully that happens. And
Yeah.
how much does it mean to you when a fan is wearing your shirt or your merchandise in general? Does that mean a lot to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it. Any kind of even just a button, whatever they wear, it fills my heart with joy.
Definitely. And what advice you have for the new professional wrestlers, our next crop of generation?
So I definitely want to say, don't let anybody discourage you. If somebody says that you can't do something, you're too small, too big, too little, whatever they say to you, if you feel like you can do something, you can't. If you get it in your head that you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do the thing that you want to do. So just believe in yourself. And once you do that, you'll be able to do it. Just the biggest thing is, if you don't believe in yourself, and if you tell yourself you can't do it, you can't do it. There's no way around that.
For sure. And
Mhm.
what can we expect from your upcoming matches? Again, we got you booked on the 24th, I.P.W. in Muncie, Indiana. And of course, on the 31st, a big triple. A 24th is a big triple threat, and the 31st one-on-one with Shawna Reed.
Yep. Super excited for those. Those are both of them debuting for the first time there. So I'm super excited. Hopefully I'll go back there after that. I'm not sure if they have a women's title I think they do. So hopefully I'll get a shot at that one day at I.P.W. and also at Underdog as well, which is the U Underdog Underdog Professional Wrestling, UPW. So hopefully I'll
Okay.
get a couple of shots on those. Really excited. I have the PWX right now, which I'm very excited for. I just received that a month ago or
Yeah.
so, but so I'm the women's champion there. So I just want to get a couple more belts to put on hang on
Mhm.
my computer here, or on my desk here.
Nice. Yeah,
Uh,
Miranda Wrights. That was a great
yeah,
match too.
yeah.
Talk about then. Before I let you go, I need your prediction for upcoming match. So
Awesome. So for the next one, triple threat, I think it's going to be a little tough. Obviously, it's always tough when it's 3 people, but I mean, I think I could take them. I think I'm going to go over. Hopefully, I'll use them getting upset. I don't know if they're heel. I'm assuming they're heel, but hopefully, I can use that against them and kind of pull off a win and kind of get myself out there a lot. I know the I.P.W fans are really good, and I'm super excited to go out there. So hopefully, I can do something for them and have me return.
appreciate you being on Pro Wrestling Enforcer podcast, and thank you. Best of luck to you.